Cool. Hi, everyone. Today we've got another episode of the Microsoft Spotlight podcast. I think today's episode 51. I'm here by myself with our guest at the moment. Andrew will be with us very shortly. And yeah, so I normally ask my co-host kind of how he's doing and stuff like that.
I can
And
ask
have a
you, how
catch
are
up.
you doing, John?
But yeah, I'm fine. I'm really well. Yeah, I'm really well. And if you hadn't seen, today's guest is Malin Martnes. Is that right?
About right.
Almost.
It's
So,
always interesting to hear how the name is pronounced throughout
what
the
did I get
world.
wrong? Did I get both wrong or just one?
No, it's both are right, but it's just if you want to pronounce it in proper Norwegian, it's
Okay.
Malin Martnes.
I say Marlin, so I was okay
Yep.
with that.
Yep.
But yeah, so names are usually the ones that get missed out a bit. But as I said, like just before we start recording, we've like seen each other. We spoke like really briefly. Like I think the South Coast Summit twice. You was
Yep.
at the Scottish Summit as well, wasn't you?
Yep.
So yeah, so we spoke to each other previously, so we kind of know each other. But today we're gonna have like a 40 minute or 40 minute catch up to really get to know yourself. So would you like to give yourself a brief introduction, what you do for work at the moment, and we'll go from there.
Yes, I live in the beautiful Norway. Today it's freaking cold and a bit of snow, so it's really, really beautiful outside. I have my own company, so I started my own company in August of this year.
Wow.
Makutra, so Malin Consulting and Training. And yes,
Macotra. Nice.
yes, that's play on my name and consultancy and training. So I come from well, I have a background in marketing.
Okay.
That's what I was supposed to do, and the world of tech just got me,
Yeah.
so to speak. So I've been working with the CRM parts of Dynamics 365 for about 10 years now.
Wow.
Also working with a lot of Power Platform, and I have just published a book on Dynamics marketing.
Awesome. I bet that's a big book.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think it's about 300 pages or so, 350.
Wow.
And that is just scraping the surface of marketing.
Because we was doing the pub quiz at the South Coast Summit, and which we won, by the way. My team won. Just. And whenever I try to throw that in, I try but when my team won for the second time, one of the questions was kind of like about licensing for CRM and stuff like that, and asked like how big like the licensing book was, and I was just like, surely it's not that big. And then the person, I think Mike Hartley was sitting next to me, was like,
Yeah.
oh man, it's big. Like it's like I just didn't quite,
Yeah.
I can't quite fathom how big the whole dynamic CRM piece is.
Yeah, and in the licensing guide you have the ERP as well. So I think it's 36 pages or so, and that is just for the Dynamics applications.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, it's big because you have so many apps, and I do the CRM parts, but I also do HR, which is on the ERP side.
Oh wow.
So I go a bit on both, but yeah, it's a lot of information, a lot of stuff. And
So
yeah.
your degree was in marketing, so you came out of university with a marketing degree, and you said you couldn't find a job. You started temping.
Yeah, yeah. Because this was back in 2007. I was done with my degree, and it was just in the like we had no courses on like internet marketing.
Mhm.
And I mean 2007, it's not that long ago, but still
Yeah.
nothing on the internet. So it was just starting to come a bit more, but Yeah, so it was hard times, and I just moved in Norway, so I was in a new place, and I worked in sales and in customer service, and I did all the jobs. So I've had the proper jobs and the dirty jobs, so to speak. Um,
I bet you worked at a gym or something like that. Or
no,
not? No. Wow.
never. I worked
No,
in
because
pubs.
no, because you said you've got a job in membership organizations and members and training. I was like, that's definitely like what? That's what every gym has, right?
Yeah, no, that was the Norwegian Association for Accountants.
Oh wow.
So definitely not a
So
gym.
definitely not, no.
So I have a lot of accounting friends, which is good when you're starting your own company and
I
like,
bet, yeah.
where do I do this? How do I, oh my God, taxes, where, VAT, what? So it's really good to have some old colleagues that I can just pick up the phone to and be like, what's this? Where do I put this? What, how?
Yeah, I bet. And
Yeah.
so we'll get to starting your own company in a little bit.
Yep.
But let's go through the journey. So you've gone full-time job, member working at an accounting organization and
Yep.
stuff like that. How did you actually end up into IT?
Yeah. Actually, hi, Andrew.
Well, you can't hear us yet, I bet.
I'm here. I'm here. Bit like,
All right, we was in flow without you, mate. To be fair, you might as well go make a cup of tea. So what we were saying, Andrew, is just Marlene came from marketing background, and we're now just diving into how the hell she went from marketing and a member working with membership organisations with accounting firm into IT, because that's a big jump.
Yep, it is because I started with like being in control of all the members and all that, and then I moved on to the event organization. So we did events and all the training for the accountants. And then someone said that, oh, but okay, you know you're quite savvy with tech, so you understand things. So then I went into 50% in the IT department, and we had an old Norwegian CRM system, old,
Yeah.
and we needed to change that, and we went into Dynamics. And we also built our own event registration and event management system. So I was part of designing that and talking with the developers and everything. And on the back of that, one of the consultants that was on the project, he said, I'm not really supposed to ask you, but have you considered being a consultant? I was like, no, never. I just go with the flow and see where that takes me, and just, I don't know, sounds fun. Why not? And nothing really happened with that. But then a couple of months later, in the same week, two recruiters contacted me and asked if I had ever considered becoming a consultant. I was like, I mean, if that's not a sign, then
Yeah, definitely.
sure.
Yeah.
So that was one was the old system that we went from, the old Norwegian system. And the other was a Norwegian Microsoft partner. So I got an offer from both of them. So it was just, where do I go? And it was,
Yeah.
well, the safe way was the Microsoft way, because there's always a job for you, and it's safe, and they never go bankrupt, and you can just find more work.
So was that actually working for Microsoft at that point, was it, or no, just a
No,
partner?
that was for
it?
a
That's right.
partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Work partner. So
But it's true though. You're working in Microsoft Tech, yeah. Generally, you should always have a job, right?
yeah, it's pretty safe. The market is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So how long back was that then?
So I started as a consultant 1st of April 2014.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So 8 years down the line now.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
I think roughly that's when I started. Maybe consultant was, I think, around 2013, 2014. Maybe maybe 2012. No, 2013, I think. So yeah,
Yeah.
roughly, yeah, 2013, I think it was. So yeah, roughly the same. So
Yeah.
how did you enjoy working for as a consultant? Was it how was it working in especially Norway as a consultant? Was there a lot of traveling? Was it just all working from home?
No, it's never working from home and rarely traveling because I live in Oslo
Mhm.
and almost all the customers were in Oslo.
Okay.
So it was never a lot of training or never a lot of like traveling and never home office because we all went to work because that was where we wanted to be and that was the social happening
Yeah.
and it was all good and we were a very close group of colleagues, a lot of who I'm still friends with today, and we still hang out and we still talk. So it was a very good company to work for when you were early 20s, mid 20s.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And as a consultant, so I previous to the job where I'm at now, which was 8 years ago, we just used to. It seems quite alien, weird now. We used to all go into London, travel into London, all just sit there, work on different projects, and then go home. And like, it just seems really weird now to kind of think of doing that.
Yeah, the world has changed. There was because like before COVID, almost everyone worked at the office.
Mm.
Like you didn't have that much home office. It was just occasionally. Whilst now it's that's what you do.
Yeah, well, I like to say I was on the private preview of working from home because I've been working from home since 2015. I've been working from
Yeah,
home.
it's about
So
15, 14 for me as well.
yeah, like every day working from home, and I used to get a lot of people go to me, "Oh, I don't know how you work from home. I could never do that." Like, and then, so I like to say I'm an early adopter. I was in like the beta
Yeah.
testing of working from home. Like now we're on like worldwide release, and
Yep. And you're already a pro at it.
yeah, so yeah, it was just for me lockdown and stuff and all that type of stuff. I was pretty much used to it. I was pretty much used to it by that point where the world was having to change and stuff. I was like, oh, I've already got my equipment here. I'm
Yeah.
fine.
Oh yeah, no, I started a new job January 2020.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I just got into that work and just started like feeling a bit at home and because it was a big company and I never really COVID happened and we didn't meet that much and yeah. So
Yeah,
it was
it's strange looking back on those times now to kind of
yeah.
think about what we had to go through, what the companies had to go through, and how general life has just changed and stuff now. So
Yeah.
so yeah, did you go from what 2014 in the same company up until recently? Was there any changes? No, no,
I
because
just
you
have to
changed in
take this
2020, and then
yeah,
yeah, from then
I just
yeah.
have to take this call because it's my kid.
Oh, okay, no worries.
School. So it's always fun. Can we send him home now? Yes. Ah,
Was
there
he
we
is
go.
he ill? Is he ill or something? Or
He's well, the school is done for the day. So the like after school, they're going to go for a long walk, and school has been out almost all day. And he has a bit of a cold, so like yeah, just cut it short and send him home because he's coughing all night anyways.
oh no.
Yeah, winter. That's how it is. I'm sorry, you were in the middle of asking me something.
I said that you moved company in 2020, and then recently opened up your own company.
Yeah,
So
and I was in one.
what's the big?
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
and I was in one more company before that
Oh
as
wow,
well. Yeah, so I
you've had
was
a busy
two.
2 years.
Yeah, I was so from 20 when was it 18 to 2020
Yeah.
I was at another company. So I was at Point Taken, which is a very good company, but it wasn't well good for me, so to speak. I was there at the wrong time. And then I moved to Norway, which I was at almost 2 years. And then I struggle a lot with migraines.
Yeah.
And I tend to do, say too much. So focus on too many things. And then I did 50% training. And I was also supposed to then do the employees and wait, come on, and then have a focus on. He's sitting there watching out. So he's walking. Come on, neighbors are walking by. Come on. Yep, good times. So I was supposed to do too much at once, so it was just too much stress. And when you do 50% on one thing and 50% on another thing, that is always 150%. So it was just too much stress. And that's why I started to think about how could I go solo and how would that be? So less stress and only focusing on myself and what I'm supposed to do. So that's helped.
So I'm just particularly interested in the migraines at the moment. So how do the migraines? Yep. I get them as well. So how do the migraines kind of onset for you?
They always start in the back of my shoulder.
Oh, really?
Yep, and then they just explode up. So I was on sick leave for quite some time, and I like full blackout with the migraines, with the vomiting, and I've had them for years. I didn't know it was a migraine. So I was like, yeah, I just get so bad neck pain that I get sick. And now that I look back, it's like, yeah, that was a migraine.
Yeah. Yeah. Friends of mine go, oh, I've got a bit of a headache. Trust me.
No. Yeah, no, that completely different things. It's for me, God. It's like, yes, yeah. I just have a headache.
Yeah, man, when I get a headache, it's like, headaches are good for, I don't mind headaches.
No,
don't mind headaches. But
not at all.
So
I get very much of the like cotton brain. So you can slice my IQ in half, and I don't understand anything with the migraines. I just go full on stupid. And
beginning of the year, I get my trigger. I don't know what my trigger is, but my trigger I think is reflective light.
Yeah.
So it's really weird. So sometimes I've worn sunglasses because I just know that the sun's at a particular angle. It's not sunny outside, but the sun's at a particular angle. I'm getting a load of bright lights like reflective off into my eyes. Yeah. So I'm literally wearing I went to the park once with my son and it was barely, and a friend came and goes, "Why are you wearing sunglasses?" Like, and I'm like, "Fuck, man! Like, it's my this is like prime migraine like thing for me right now."
Yeah, it's just I've stopped drinking because of it. So I haven't had a drink for now almost 2 years.
Oh wow!
Just because of that, and I am actually a certified beer judge from the Norwegian Association of Homebrewing. Oh, so wow. I brew beer and I drank a lot of beers, and now it's not worth it.
So my mum gets them as well, so it's hereditary from my mum. But her thing was Chardonnay. I think Chardonnay used to give her it used to be a trigger for her.
Yeah.
But I remember going into London once, and I hope people that listen can relate to this, and it's like particularly good because for me, I feel it's like a bit of a disability in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Because like when you get them, it's just like days and days of like. I always call it the hangover, so the migraine hangover. Yeah. It feels like you've got a really, really bad hangover. So for me, I go.
Yep.
I suddenly get a reflection, and then I go, and I can't see in this eye normally.
Yep.
Can't see in this eye, and then suddenly everything goes. I'm looking at my phone, I can't see it, and I'm like, damn, like, and if I'm at home, I go instantly to bed.
Yep.
Close everything, instantly to bed, like tablets, water, done. Yeah. Try to go to sleep as quick as I can.
Yep.
And I normally find if I go to sleep quickly, or just go into that like duvet cover over the head, like everything like that, it tends to not be as bad. But if I'm out and I've got nothing, yeah, I'm toast for a week.
Yeah, and it's so exhausting. I have a sounds wrong, but I have a lot of pills. So I all my bags and backpacks and everything, there are pills everywhere because I get stressed if I don't have them. So I have like the normal paracetamol, so I can take them when I feel it's starting to come and it can cut it. But I also have like the triptans, the migraine specific ones. So I can take that, and I have the ones that melt on your tongue, so it absorbs in like 15 minutes and it should work. But I also actually like I've tried everything because there are in Norway at least you should try. There is one medicine for depression that they give to see if it works on migraine. It is one for blood pressure and is one that for epilepsy.
Okay.
Yeah. So the one for depression, it made me faint. So I fainted and got like a cut and hit my So that I was off that. And the blood pressure, I have super low blood pressure as it is.
Yeah.
So my doctor was like, we can start really, really slow and just see how it goes. But I got so low blood pressure that I got a headache from that. And then that was my kid.
that was the hay coming in.
Yeah. Ta klä deg ganska så. Kom se på TV.
Joys from working from home, eh?
Yep. I was expecting that.
You called it at the beginning of the call, to be fair.
I did, yeah. And then it was the epilepsy drugs, and you lose your appetite, and that is one of the biggest things for me. I lose appetite as it is, and I forget to eat, and I'm too skinny. So my doctor was like, nope, not going there. So now I actually get Botox injections in my head.
I've heard this,
every 12 weeks. And I have a big fear of needles. Like they are my worst phobia. So I get from the top here all the way back 30, 40 shots of Botox in my head every 12 weeks.
Wow. Yeah, I've heard about the Botox in the head. Helps it.
Yeah, it's a different life. Like I started getting them in August last year. And I went from being on, like I had been on 50% sick leave up to like 50 to 100% sick leave for almost a year. And 2 weeks after I got them, I was fully back.
That's mad.
So, yeah, completely different life. So it's highly recommendable. It's just like, I think there are like 35 or 36 shots of needle. So and it's like the head, it's not good.
Have you experienced any side effects from it? Any side effects from having the Botox injections?
Yep. It hurt because you have bone and it's just needles, and I try not to think about it, and my neurologist is like, okay, so you're the only patient I have who almost laughs from you come into the office until you leave again. I'm like, that's the only way I know how to survive this. Because it's horrible and it's like painful, but it works, and it's I can live with the migraines as it is. So
Anyway, I think let's move on, because maybe not everyone gets migraines. I'm thinking,
hopefully not. Yeah,
it's all good conversation. Obviously,
as I said, it's something I'm particularly interested in myself. I mean, I don't get them. I get them probably 3 or 4 times a year. So it's not a constant thing for me. It's like I could get them twice in a month, like, and then not have them for the rest of the year, for example.
Oh, lucky you. Yeah.
Yeah, it is one of those things, but then I just it's a fear. Like I get a big fear of it. And I hate to think what it's actually doing to my brain.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like a study has just shown now that they've taken MRIs of, because I have more days with migraine than I do without them.
Okay.
It's just the intensity for me has now gone down quite drastically, so I can like live with it. But they have taken MRIs of a brain with migraine, and they've actually seen that there are parts of the brain that just like expands. So air. So you actually do get cotton head.
Yeah.
And there's not enough research on it. Have migraines. It
Yeah.
is pretty predominant in women. They have it. So if you do get headaches that are so bad that you get sick, it's most likely a migraine. And if you get like sudden flickers of light, like you're looking through the bottle of a glass Coke that is shattered, that is migraine. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's like an aura, isn't it? It's like an aura. Like, that's what they call it. An aura that comes over. Oh,
yeah.
I hate thinking about it. I literally hate thinking about it.
Yeah, it's horrible, and it's like for me, I had some friends that were over here in Norway, and I was supposed to meet them both Saturday and Sunday a couple of weeks ago, and I was stuck home with a migraine. And it's like it affects your life, and you feel bad because you can't go and meet them, and then you feel even worse because feeling bad doesn't help with the migraine. And yeah, so it's and of course after the migraine is gone, that often triggers a depression.
Yeah.
So because it fucks so much with the hormones in your brain, so it often leads to a depression as well. So yeah.
Yeah, the chemical imbalance. Yeah.
Yep. Fun times.
That's quite interesting, actually. Quite interesting.
Yep.
So, in terms of kind of work, you're obviously you've done consulting for a long time. You've got your own company now. What's made you start doing more work within the Microsoft community then? When did that start?
I actually like, because I'm more known for my work with the HR product, Dynamics 365 HR, which was a new product in 2017. And a customer asked our salesperson can we do a proof of concept on talent, which was the name at the time. And salesperson, as salespeople are, said, yes, of course we can, no problem. I just need to figure out who does it. And then he turned around to us and was like, no idea what it is. And he was like, yeah, but Malin can do it. So I'm like, all right. I can do it. So it was a completely new system, knew nothing about it, nothing about HR at all, nothing about ERP. So everything was completely new. And when I started working, I got a mentor in Microsoft Norway who was an old AX or ERP MVP. And there was no content out there. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody was blogging about it. There was nothing at all. So I thought, well, I can talk about this. There was a certification at the time. So I thought, I'm a big Neil Parkhurst fan, and he writes these amazing certification blogs, which I've always read when I'm about to take a certification. So I thought, okay, so there is the pretty clear in the certification what you need to read through, and I can just do like blog posts about the certification. And then Fredrik Sætre, the one at Microsoft Norway, who was my mentor, he said, well, how about you do one blog post every day for a month? And I was like, that's a lot. I have a 2-year-old kid at home, but I mean, when he's asleep, what else is there to do? Don't have a life. So I ended up doing one blog post every working day for 6 months straight. Yeah.
Yes,
until
that's commitment and a half. That is.
it was like I started with a month just to see, can I do it for a month? And then I was like, Shh, I could just continue this. This is no problem. And then after a while, it was more of an obsession. Like, I've done 4 months. I have these posts left. I'm just going to continue. So I completed that. So I got a lot of content on my blog, and I was doing some presentations as well on HR. And that led me to MVP in July, for 1st of July, actually, 2019. So,
Wow.
which is strangely enough quite some time ago. So I was the first ever to get it on the background of the HR product. So
Awesome.
I was nominated by the product team.
Cool.
Yeah. So
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So
So
writing
how-
blog posts is an absolute, nightmare. Because we had Tracy van der Schaaf on, who was doing Office 365 and 365 days. It was basically every single day there was a blog post about Office 365. It's like there is absolute burnout from doing that, because obviously having to write that content, study it all, I can imagine just being an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, and I know that I've inspired, because he said so himself, Collins Jones. He did one YouTube video which is just taking it to the next level and completely crazy. Like, for me, one thing is like writing a blog post a day. That some were small, some were long, but it just takes time. But doing a video every day, yeah.
I think video is a bit easier because obviously, it's just sitting there talking. I think sitting there, obviously writing the blog post and getting all the, the grammar correct, and
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing a lot of
images that
videos.
you need to put into it.
I've been doing a lot of videos recently, and it depends. It really does depend. Like, I've done a video on universal print, and that literally took me about 4 or 5 hours, because I was putting things together. I was putting a solution together at the same time.
Yeah.
But then
Isn't that just file and print, John?
But then the other day, me and Femke done a video, and it took me 10 minutes. Like, it's
Yeah, I saw that video. Yeah.
So that was just a bit of a conversational video. It took 10 minutes just to cut the beginning, cut the end, and go off you go. But then the universal print one, like that took ages. So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it all depends. Like, because my book comes out next week. Good plug.
Look, there we go. What's the link?
This episode's going out. This episode is going to be going out in January 2023. So we should have said Happy New Year to everyone. So first, whilst we're on that subject, where can we find your book right now?
On Amazon.
On Amazon, and what would we have to type in to find it on Amazon?
Yeah, becoming a Microsoft Dynamics 365 marketing functional consultant.
Cool. So short title then.
Yeah, and that's just the first part of the title, because it has like a second part. Deliver enterprise.
We'll put the link in the description anyway.
Yeah.
Becoming a Microsoft 365 marketing functional consultant, learn to deliver enterprise marketing solutions and insights, and exponentially grow your business.
Bloody hell! If that's the length of the title, I can imagine how lengthy that book is.
Yeah, and as I said, I have just scraped the surface with this book. Like, it is 300 or something pages. I haven't counted it, but I actually read in the book. So I used the dictating functionality in Word.
Oh.
So I was looking out my window, I was playing on my phone, and I was talking to I need to multitask, talking to Word as I was writing the book. So yeah, but that's just like step one, because once you've written a chapter, then it goes to the editor team, and then you get it back, and then it goes back, and then back and forth, and then technical team, and then the language editor team, and then the graphic editor team. And I'm never writing a book again.
Yeah. I mean, I write for Practical 365, and it's quite similar in terms I send something off, technical fun comes back, I send it back again, it comes. Yeah, it takes a little while.
Yeah, it does. And then it's like when you're done with a chapter, and like the last thing I did was to go through and rewrite things and add things and change because the October release came.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, so this is new and this is new and this is new and this has changed names, and yeah, okay, I need to go through and do edits on everything and how you do everything. So, but it's done. It is out there. It is public, and go buy it.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So so you said about the MVP process, getting nominated and stuff like that. Was it how kind of easy or hard was that process for yourself? Having the product team behind you must have given you a lot of help, right?
Yeah, but I was nominated first and was rejected.
Okay.
Because I didn't have enough content.
Mm-hmm.
So that was probably in March of 2019, I think. I was rejected. But then, funnily enough, the week after, I was at an event. That was my first big speaking gig at an event abroad. And the product team was there. And one of the people reached out to me and said, so I'm going to be there. Do you want to have a sit down? And I was like super excited getting to talk to the product team, and that was awesome. So when I showed up, it was not just that one guy, it was 5 people from the product team. And I was like just flabbergasted and like, wow, are all you here and everyone setting an hour to talk to me? Wow. And it was like the GM and the main salesperson and the head of development and like all the big guns. And they started with, and I'll never forget it. So the GM started with, yeah, so everyone on our team knows who you are and read your blogs.
Oh, wow.
Like, holy shit.
Nice.
That was, I wrote my blog so that I would remember stuff, so that I would help people pass the exams, and like I Google stuff and come to my blog. I'm like, oh, I wrote about that. When did I do that? Yeah. So and they said, have you considered becoming an MVP? And then I said, yeah, I was fun story. I was declined last week. And they're like, we're gonna fix that.
Oh, wow.
Like, okay. So then I was renominated, and I almost took a job for Microsoft at that time, but decided to, no, I didn't want to. I don't do well with politics and big companies and stuff. I'm too, I talk too much, and I don't care of politics. I think everyone is equal, and it doesn't matter if you're the CEO of the biggest company or if you're the janitor. I'm going to talk to you the same way and with the same amount of respect. So I don't like to work for big companies.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's just how I am, and people are different. That's also why I'll never be like a big famous leader for any big company. I don't want to.
That's fair enough. Everyone's different, aren't they? Hey?
Yeah, they are. So I decided not to go work for Microsoft.
How did you kind of take the initial rejection from the MVP? How?
It was like, I understand it, because I felt like I don't do enough anyways. Like I still feel like I don't do enough, and But then people ask me, so what are you doing? And I'm like, and I'm doing this, and I'm running this event, and I'm doing that, and I'm like, okay, maybe I do a bit. Yeah.
I think people that I'm quite similar as well in terms of like I never feel like I'm doing a lot. And then I'm not just work, but outside of work and stuff like that. And then my wife goes, you're such a busy person. I'm like, no, I'm not. And she goes, okay, well, you've got a full-time job, you run a jiu-jitsu company, you do podcasting, you go to events, like like the only times that you're home at night are like Tuesdays and Wednesdays and at the weekends. Like you're I was like, yeah, fair enough. Like
yeah, because I think if you see it from the outside, or like when I do, because I still do a lot of training, like 50% of my time goes to training. So I work for one of the biggest training providers in Norway, and I love to do training. And there it's so sometimes people ask, so what like how did you start with the MVP and what did you do? And I forget half of what I've done. Like it was the blog, it was the speaking, and now I remember I had a Women in Dynamics meetup that we did 4 times a year, and I was you just forget.
Yeah. And how did you find kind of, again, a bit more going into some of the tech side of things? Is like now Microsoft Viva has come along. Have you done much with Microsoft Viva? Because that kind of goes straight into like the HR space that you're in as well, no?
No, I have moved more over to marketing.
Okay.
Just because that's where I come from. It's what I know. It's always been an interest of mine. Like I've kept an eye out and read about all the marketing trends and all of that. That is still like some of my favorite things to do. So I haven't delved into Viva. I'm not sure if I'm going to either, and I'm not sure if I'm going to continue work that much with HR, because now it's going back into the ERP side.
Yeah.
So all the infrastructure, everything is changing again. And like I take things as they come along, and I do whatever I think is fun, and
that's fair enough. Like, yeah.
And there are like Anna Ines, she's very good at both HR and the Viva stuff. So she's taken up my slack.
I think Anna's gonna be one of our guests in, I think, maybe the next episode or the episode after. So obviously again, Anna
I love Anna. She was the second HR MVP. So I was mentoring her, and she's a very dear, good friend of mine.
Awesome, nice. Yeah, I mean, obviously I've met her at the Scottish Summit. Yeah, she was on my pub quiz winning team as well. So
she's just great. I love her.
Yeah, she's a character, isn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the word color comes to mind.
Yeah, she's very colourful. She's a great. I think it'll be a good episode again, like this one has been. Like I think I said we can speak for 40 minutes and so, and to get to know each other and stuff, and I think we've done a decent job.
It's always great.
Cool. I don't know where Andrew is.
Lost him again.
Lost him again. But we're just over our runtime. So we've done a good job. We spoke about quite a few different topics than what we normally do with migraines and stuff like that. So
it's always good. And I mean, I know there are a lot of people in the community that suffers from migraine, and looking at the screen and hunching over and being in bad positions and all of that. It doesn't work at all. So straighten up and sit up proper and have a good desk and everything. And a good chair, that always helps.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Don't look at too much light.
No.
That's what I feel. Not too much light, because as soon as that's where I'm finished.
Yeah.
Bright lights, flash photography. Yeah.
Yeah. Horrible.
But anyway, we'll wrap up for today. So thank you for joining us. Another great episode and another great story. And thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah. 2023 feels good so far. Like
Best start of the year ever.
amazing, yeah. Cool. All right. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for coming. And we'll see everyone on the next episode of Microsoft Spotlight Podcast. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Microsoft Spotlight podcast. Please make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button to help us promote our message. You can also follow us on Twitter at MSFT Spotlight, and we're also on LinkedIn, the Microsoft Spotlight podcast. And finally, we'd like to tell you a little bit about Big Titan and thank them for sponsoring this podcast.
Remote migrations start here. Let Migration Wiz do the work for you. It's fast, secure, and 100% SaaS, which means you can migrate at any time and from anywhere. Migrate mailboxes, documents, public folders, personal archives, or even Microsoft Teams with just a few clicks. No special training needed and no customer downtime. When the work matters, choose Migration Wiz.